This is not Rio de Janeiro. The Brazilian sun is a world away. This is our beach. The winter makes us who we are. The cold
What an incredible, yes, you are, incredible campaign. Ice in our veins, as we have shown you exclusively this morning here on CBC News Network. It's the new COC marketing campaign, 100 days before the Olympic Games. And one of the athletes who features prominently that is my guest now, Mandy Bujold. Well, you've seen that before. We're introducing that to the rest of Canada today. It's a really good-looking campaign. What do you think?
It's absolutely amazing. They did an amazing job. The crew that was there was amazing. They had such great talent from Canada represented in that
all
campaign.
The sports, but
yeah.
Now is that real or that's not CGI? You're with the Wolves?
I was with the Wolves.
Okay.
Yes, it was pretty intense. I was a little nervous about that, but they had wranglers with each one of the Wolves that you can't see obviously in the video. So it was intense.
It looks good. Anyway, I'm not worried about. You could have just bopped them in the snout, and they wouldn't have known what hit them, because you are one of Canada's great hopes in boxing, a double gold medalist from Pan Am Games, and entering in the flyweight category, 51-kilogram category. I'm sure if I said double gold medalist from Pan Am's, you would have wanted to have Olympic medalist from London 4 years ago, but there was a whole mix-up with the qualification process, and you didn't get to go. So knowing that you are going to Rio, how's that?
It's very exciting. I mean, when you look at 100 days to Rio, I mean, you work for this for your entire career, and especially missing out. So it feels like I've been working for this for 8 years.
Yes.
And now it's finally here. It's like, oh my God, 100 days. It just
well, that'll go by quickly?
It'll go by so fast.
Do you think so?
Yes, absolutely.
What are your expectations of the competition once you get there? It'll just be the second year for women's boxing at an Olympic level.
Yep. This time, actually, they did the qualification process perfectly. They had a qualifier for each continent, so you are truly going to see the top 12 girls in the world competing, which is amazing. It's going to make every fight a world-class fight, but it's going to be tough competition, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is?
Yeah.
What do you do between now and like for the next 100 days, that whole plan?
I actually have World Championships.
Exactly.
Yeah, so heading to Kazakhstan mid-May. So after the Worlds, then we'll start focusing and planning everything for the Olympics. But right now our focus is on the
competition at a time? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you're focusing on the training, you're in the gym, you're in the ring, I know you're there every single day, but there's a whole other side to getting set. As an amateur athlete going to Olympic competition, I couldn't help but notice this on your Twitter feed, some wonderful pictures of something called Mandy's. Take a look at this with me. You are serving up pizzas in various and sundry restaurants, and some of the money sold per slice goes to your fundraising, right?
Yeah. So
did you raise? How did that go?
Actually, we don't know exactly how much we raised so far, but it was an awesome experience, and it definitely wasn't my idea.
Mandy's, Mandy's, I love that.
I wish I could take the credit for it, but I can't. Dell's restaurant, actually, I went there for a celebration meal, and the chef decided to come up with this Rio-inspired pizza.
To help you with your costs, which I just think it's an important point for people at home watching us to realize. There's a whole other side, isn't it? You have to help. You know, how much money does it take to defray your costs?
I mean, it's huge, because everything you do, like we're training full time. I had to relocate from Kitchener to here in Toronto. You know, I work with a strength and conditioning coach, massage therapist, physiotherapist, sports psychologist, all of these people, and you have to pay them. You know, you have a team around you, but that's just part of being an athlete, right?
I guess it really is. Hopefully it doesn't distract you. I don't think it does from the task at hand, which is that gold medal when you get to Rio. A really interesting issue, and I would direct you to CBC Sports Online, because Mandy's written a beautiful piece, I think it was in February of this past year. One of the things we're going to see in Rio is, from the men's side of things, men competing without headgear for the first time. They've been doing this for the past 3 years. They're going to do it at the Olympics for the first time. And you've written very eloquently about why you think the push was to get this for women and youth in boxing. You said you'd retire if that ever happened. That's how strongly you feel about that. Why is that?
I just personally don't want to get cuts in the ring, and I think I'm seeing a lot of cuts with the men without headgear. But that being said, I have heard from the Canadian Boxing Association that they've decided against that rule to take off the headgear.
Right, they've put it off for now for further study.
Put it off for now, which I think is a good thing until they get more research into the subject. But just personally for me, I feel better having a headgear on, and I've always boxed with one on, even in the gym, and I just would prefer to keep it that way.
Listen, with all the discussion of concussion in hockey and in football and other sports, you'd think that you want to have fully studied this before you go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with boxing, though, is that we're not taking hits from behind or from the side, so I don't think concussions is as big of an issue as people think, but we're prepared for what's coming at us. So we know someone's standing in front of us and they're going to hit us with either a left hand or a right hand, and you're prepared to deflect those punches. So it's a little different than, you know, being hit by surprise or from the back, and I think that's where a lot of concussions happen. So I think for boxing, a lot of people have that stigma that there's a lot of concussions when really there's really not that many.
Well, that's good to know. All right, so now we know. We may not recognize you as much under the headgear, but we'll watch for the red and white, and we'll certainly know your style. And I'm liking how you talk to me, and you're still always moving. You never stop, which is terrific. And if you happen to be in Toronto Friday, you're the main event at Brawl in the Hall, right?
Yes.
You've got a training fight, and then, of course, World Championships to come. We'll be watching you there, and we'll be watching for you in Rio. Good luck, Mandy. You get to go to the games, and we'll be watching and hoping for the best for you. Thanks for the time today.